smart everything and data devices and data security. Is that a contradiction? We have here with us Elena Pasquali, start-upper, and she will talk about reconciling IoT and data privacy. She says that in 2030, so in 10 years, there will be something like 75 billion IoT devices in cities globally. And this certainly contributes to make cities safer, to make cities cleaner, and to make cities better. And that's an objective that you believe we all can share. But we have obviously a problem with the data security. So what she asks is how to reconcile that. IoT and data security, that we individuals have the sovereignty of our data. Elena says from herself that some year ago she made a decision. She made a decision to move from London to Bolzano, and that this was the best decision in her life. So we are obviously very happy about that. We will miss you, Elena, if you were still in London instead of contributing to our vibrant ecosystem here at Neutech Park. So I'm very happy about your contribution here and what you have to tell us about your startup, EcoSteer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Petra, and thank you very much, everybody, for being here today. I am Elena Pasquali. I'm the CEO of EcoSteer. We are an IoT and blockchain software startup, and our objective is to create a new distributed and decentralized data economy. As Petra was saying, today I will talk about smart everything and data privacy. Are they really completely irreconcilable terms? Well, first of all, why is this important? Well, because by 2030 there will be more than 70 billion connected devices in our cities. And these devices will transform our assets as well as ourselves into our digital twins. And our digital twins will be sources of data streams that hold the promise of making our cities a smarter, cleaner, and safer place to live. We've actually learned how important our data is during the pandemic. Think about it. Think about how our movement data is important in order to track contagion. Well, we've divided ourselves into two camps related to sharing our data, to prevent the spread of contagion. On one side, the integralist, those of us who said, I will never share my data no matter what. On the other, the resigned, oh well, I'm already sharing my data with God knows who for God knows what reasons. I might as well do it for the good of my community. Well, is it really true that data privacy and digital participation, the data privacy and smart everything cannot be reconciled? We think they can. And the answer is they can be reconciled thanks to blockchain. And why is that? The key feature of blockchain is decentralization based on consensus algorithm. That means that we have no more the need for a centralized authority to work as a guarantor of our transaction. What does it mean? Today, every time we execute a transaction, we sell a home, we sell a car, we share our data. We need to trust somebody, we need to trust an authority to execute and guarantee that transaction. Well, blockchain eliminates the need to trust a centralized authority to execute the transactions and allow us to execute transactions between ourselves in a trustless environment based on the consensus between all the participants in the blockchain. Transaction decentralization holds the promise of enabling citizens to share their data in a manner that could be fully controlled and extremely rewarding, thus promoting new forms of digital participation. Why is that important, in fact? Well, think about it. The data economy today is monopolistic and centralized. And technically, decentralization means that the platforms we share our data with have exclusive control over access over our own data from third parties. An alternative to decentralization is possible, and actually it is the European privacy laws, the GDPR, that establish it. If my data is mine, I can manage it, I can dispose of it as I wish. This is the principle of data ownership that EcoSteer, my startup, has implemented technically by leveraging smart contracts in the blockchain and end-to-end encryption. Our data ownership platform is an overlay network, a data sharing governance layer that works on top of traditional data brokering platforms, decentralizing data access control and bringing it back in the hands of the legitimate data owners, ourselves. How does it work? End-to-end encryption. Data is encrypted at its point of generation. Our car telematics, our wearable, an energy meter. It crosses the data brokering platform still encrypted, and it reaches the final user of our data still encrypted. And it can only be decrypted with the explicit consent of myself, the data owner, a consent that I will give using a smart contract in the blockchain, thus decentralizing and disintermediating the data brokering platforms and creating direct relationships with all the entities, with all the institutions, with all the companies, with all the startups that are looking to use my data to create information that will enable business processes to run better and our cities to work better and ourselves to work in better environments. Our objective is to decentralize and distribute the data economy. So that means that we want cities and companies to create their own data marketplaces leveraging our technology. Data exchange hubs, data marketplaces where citizens, consumers will be able to exchange their data with a number of different parties in a manner that will be controlled and rewarding. In fact, all marketplaces, even though they will be very different, of course, depending on the needs of their owners, will have two key features in common. They will give data owners the possibility to see all the parties interested in accessing their data and to grant and revoke access to their data unilaterally and at any time. And, of course, when we will decide to share our data, we will be compensated for this sharing in the form of tokens that we will be able to spend in the marketplace. So let's imagine what that would mean in a digital city. We would create digital twins of everything, of city assets, corporate assets, ourselves, and we would be able to share our data in a controlled way, making our data available, for example, for startups, innovative startups that might develop, autonomous driving applications, pollution risk calculation application. All in all, these applications could also become a generator of data streams, thus really generating a circular data economy that could create a much better environment and a richer environment for all of us. We envisage, of course, corporations to create their own data streams marketplaces, entirely changing their customer experience, involving them in the creation of value from investments in IoT that until today, such as those in second-generation energy meters, have been meant only to increase internal efficiency. Data marketplaces could be, of course, have many flavors, and the important thing is that as Europe, we have a unique opportunity to leverage our values and our legal framework to implement a different way of using data that will be more rewarding, more just, more ethical, in line with the data strategy that has been published by European Commission at the beginning of 2020. As I said, our objective is to create a new distributed and decentralized data economy, and I look forward to building it together with you. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Elena. This was not only a big vision, but it's a big vision connected with a business model, connected with a value proposition and a clear value proposition for your clients and for us as consumers. I have to add a personal comment on this because I really feel something like a relief hearing your presentation, because this is really the big issue. In innovation management, we are used to speak about pains. So we try to address pains of consumers when to develop a new product. And I think you have clearly mentioned the pain, which is this not control, the missing control over our own data. And I feel now as I can't wait a moment when your technology gets mainstream and sets Europe, thanks to the GDPR, really ahead of these systems and of digital possibilities in the world. I check a moment if there are live questions. Okay, there are not yet. We are a little bit in delay for the stream, but I invite anybody and everybody to join Elena eventually on a virtual table at San Virtuale. She is here at Neu Tech Park and certainly able to answer your question also after the conference.
Thank you,
Elena.
Thank you very much.